A keyed Irish flute for $100? Is it too good to be true? Well, maybe. Let's talk about it. Who is Nach Meyer? This actually refers to H.F. Meyer, a maker of fine German flutes in the mid-1800s, though Nach Meyer flutes are not made by H.F. Meyer. More on this later. His flutes use the simple system, similar to what we would call Irish flutes today, and this simply means that you use the fingers to cover the 6 main tone holes. This is in contrast to the Bohm system, which uses keys to cover all of the holes. The Bohm system was developed in a similar time as H.F. Meyer's flutes in the mid-1800s. Meyer flutes are fully chromatic, meaning they play all sharps and flats throughout the octaves, and they're commonly between 8 and 11 keys. Some of them, including the one I've played today, have a range that goes down to low B. Now, what is Nach Meyer? Well, Nach Meyer means in the style of Meyer. These flutes weren't made by H.F. Meyer, but by various other flute makers around the world as copies of H.F. Meyer's flutes. The quality of H.F. Meyer flutes are excellent. The quality of Nach Meyer flutes are far more varied, with some being excellent and some being essentially unplayable. Nach Meyer flutes are commonly made from cocus or blackwood. Sometimes they even have an ivory head. And on Nach Meyer flutes, the keys are typically made of nickel silver and they're pin mounted. Depending on the decade of manufacture, they may tune lower than the current standard of A at 440. They may tune at A at 435 or A at 415. The flute that I've played today fortunately does tune at A440 with the slide all the way in, but was probably designed to tune at A435, where it plays with the slide extended just a few millimeters. One common critique for the Meyer system flutes is the location of the right hand little finger keys, the E flat, the C, and the C sharp. They're positioned facing the body slightly more than on a Bohm flute or most modern keyed Irish flutes. This can make it difficult to press, especially the E flat key, without causing a leak on the E hole. How do they sound? Well, these flutes can sound pretty decent. The holes are quite small by modern standards, which means they're fairly quiet. I mentioned that the quality of these flutes are quite variable, so until you play it, it's hard to really know what you're getting. You can find these flutes on eBay for a couple $100, and this flute that I'm playing today I actually purchased for $75 a couple of months ago. These flutes can be a very good deal if they were manufactured well, and if you're willing to do some repairs. Most commonly, you may have to replace the head cork and repad the keys. Sometimes you also may need to replace the cork on the tenons, which is actually pretty easy because you can use waxed thread instead of cork. If you have one of these flutes and it doesn't play at all, the likely culprit is a leak, and the repairs that I mentioned before, replacing the head cork, repadding the keys, and replacing the tenon cork, will likely fix the issue. Should you buy a Nach Meyer flute? Maybe. If you're an absolute beginner, don't do it. Spend the money and buy a high-quality Delrin flute. If you enjoy tinkering with instruments, you like the idea of owning an antique flute, or you're an intermediate player, this can be a very affordable way to own a keyed wooden simple system flute.